Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Prompted by the Watts unrest in 1966, the Human Relations Commission of Los Angeles promotes communication and peace building by interaction through the communities. I'm delighted today to be joined by the president of the Human Relations Commission, Anthony Mack. So nice to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me down on behalf of our wonderful commission, the Commission of Human Relations. Thank you so much.
You got it. Well, all right, so let's do the basics first. The Human Relations Commission is actually appointed individuals from the community that help foster communication through different organizations and relay it back to the city, correct?
That's correct. In fact, each commissioner is actually appointed by the mayor to sit for a specified period of time. And we've got commissioners from our Latino community, we have commissioners from our Sikh community, we have commissioners served from our Filipino community, of course, African American community, the transgender community. We have so many communities that are being reflective, and this is purposely done as our commission was formed years ago, as you pointed out, to actually serve the diversity and the inequities that unfortunately have been around for years. And we look to put together programs and initiatives to actually help bring a proper balance to our communities, and communication, which is key.
Well, communication is key, but an interesting thing now is that although the commission has been around since 1966, you're now working rather closely with an LA department that was recently created, the Civil and Human Rights and Equity Department, known as LA Civil Rights. So how has that cooperative effort worked, and how, what's the process of kind of getting them up to speed and you working with them?
That was a brilliant creation, and again by our mayor Eric Garcetti, and we owe a lot of thanks to him. And what a time like today, we're seeing a lot of inequities, a lot of civil liberties, civil rights that are being broken and challenged. I thought as a youth growing up in Los Angeles since the age of 8, I thought that a lot of these inequities over time would disappear by the time I was a white-haired adult, right? And so here we are today, and we're still battling a lot of the same equities. But the idea was to bring about, basically, you have two arms, right? You have the arm that takes action from a legality standpoint, then you have the arm that's actually the communication, kind of the liaison between the city of LA and the communities that we represent.
Your job is to listen to the community. So how, in a practical nature, does this work? And then once you have these meetings, what are you looking for, and what are you doing with the information?
Listening is critical, and that is first and foremost, and what we do is listen to the community. For example, back in 2018, we had what was created as a dinner dialogues that was birthed out of our commission. A lot of hard work done, some key members off our commission, and that was that started and ended with listening to the community and to the concerns of LAPD law enforcement to bridge or to bring together the underserved communities and to get an understanding because of just the years and history of not listening to one another. And it's paid off. Years later today, we finalized the report. LAPD has actually utilized that report, learned a lot from it, adjusted all sorts of things in their training and the way they approach and interact with the community, thanks to Chief Michael Moore, really taking it to heart. And our community is listening. I think we've seen a lot, and we've actually benefited from that type of communication and listening in recent events.
I think everyone should read these reports, by the way. I mean, not just those that are the players in the game, because when I was looking through it, I was fascinated to hear a young man say that I want to know the police officers in my neighborhood as much as I know my postal worker. I mean, just anecdotal pieces of information like that really kind of redirect your thought process.
No, you're spot on, Maria. That report was years of hard work, a lot of bending and flexing from the community side, law enforcement side, the city side. Thank goodness for our administration that supports our commission. They work behind the scenes to really help us, organize the dinner dialogues. But no, listening to the community members the stakeholders of the community in terms of, you know, what it's like in the community shoes, in our shoes every day, just to basically survive. And at the same time to do the right thing and frankly not to be harassed in an inequitable fashion. It's, you know, it's a fine line. I mean, it's hard to understand where someone's coming from unless you've walked in their shoes.
Okay, so under your leadership, where do you see the priorities? Where do you want to focus your attention? Obviously, there's a vast array of challenges, and you know, we're talking about even the perception of the police, etc. But you know, there are a lot more areas of inequity that need to be addressed. So where do you think we need to start?
I can assure you one thing we do want to do is, I like to see, and that is to lean heavily on the mission of our commission, which is eradicating discrimination, programs that are going to address the hate crimes that have just been really rising as of late, the inequities that have been exposed from things such as COVID, and continue to identify programs that are going to continue to bridge all of our communities together that may have differences or that are not at the table together per se. There was a time where we were all at the table together, and now we're kind of operating in silos.
Definitely.
We've got to come back to the table together, and because we do not want to repeat what happened, you know, following the '92 situation.
Do you actually hear things that you hadn't even thought of before from somebody who would call in saying, "I need more trees in my neighborhood," or "I need to have, you know, I need to have a closed street so the traffic is okay," or I need to have more police or less police or something. Do you hear from people that they say this?
Yeah, we you'd be amazed. We received some amazing feedback from the community that we'll look at each other many times and say, that makes complete sense. You know, why don't we think of that? Many times it's something that's literally, it's right there in front of us, but
unless you hear it, you don't know it.
Exactly, and you know, we may be looking at a certain program that we think is a concern, but speak to the person that's trying to figure out where the next meal is going to come from, or speak to the person that is homeless under a freeway. You know, we may think that it's, you know, an area is important that we're discussing or debating about, but someone that doesn't have heat, someone that doesn't have, you know, air, someone that doesn't have water. It's important to hear from the community and listen to their concerns. It has a way of really balancing out the direction that we take as a commission.
Well, I think it's really important to get the message out that the voice is relevant, because
Absolutely.
I think so many people think, well, it's just me, who cares? You know, nobody really cares what I think. But to understand that it's imperative that those voices are heard in order for change to be effective in any way.
Absolutely. Again, we are managed by the mayor's office. They actually listen to every single meeting, and community needs to understand when they call in, not only do we hear their concerns, the mayor's office hears their concerns, and that's where a lot of decisions are made. And as busy as City Hall is in these offices, there's nothing like getting a phone call or a message directly from the community that we are charged to serve, to create action. And so, no, you're spot on.
Well, it was wonderful talking with you. And if people want to get more information about the Human Relations Commission, what's the best route?
The best way to reach us is civilandhumanrights.lacity.org/commissions. Kind of long, but that is the website. It'll list all of our meetings upcoming and programs that we're working on, and the best way to connect with us so we can hear from the community.
All right, I'm going to keep reading your reports. They're really interesting.
Thank you so much.
It was great to talk to you.
Thank you for having us.
And that's a wrap on this LA Current.